And blessed love to each and every one. Definitely giving thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, father and mother of creation, of course. You're in the tiger's nest. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. And what you are about to listen to is an excerpt from an edition of the Shock of the Hour radio program that we did several months ago. But this one is speaking of the eternal God within you. This is something you'll definitely full joy. Encouraging each and everyone to subscribe to the Shock of the Hour radio program and definitely receive programs like this each and every evening. So, somewhat of a throwback, but you're going to full enjoy it. Just an excerpt from it, but not the complete program. All right. Subscribe to the Shock of the Hour today.
On such a wonderful evening tide, we bless the community of the universe. Mystic vibrations, shock of the hour is in full effect. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. Just stepping through the twilight zone, cosmic lane. Definitely within the realms of the tiger's nest. So obviously you cannot get lost. At least not if you're with us. Once again, welcome to the zone. Welcome to the moment where we, you know what we do. We talk about information and inspiration. The upper room. You're dining with the executives. Definitely traversing the ecliptic belt. Zodiac constellations, windows and doors for the entering and the exiting of the sun, the moon, and the planets. Within such is written the science of the Akashic records, an understanding of your soul, destination, past, and now. The heavens declare the glory. This evening, we're going to keep it on the same wavelength that we've been doing since we started this work. And what is that? We have a wonderful program for you tonight. Yeah, we're going to be going into your part as it relates to the Almighty. You know, what part do you really play in this consciousness of God, universal consciousness? And of course, in a previous program, we were talking about some universes and multiverses and consciousness and parallel worlds and different dimensions. And we comprehend that all is one, and there's a oneness to everything, and there is a universe. And we also went through and sort of kind of, ironed out that whole theory of multi-universes, and I'm sure you could remember that program that we did. But as I said, this evening we're keeping it in the cosmic realms. To be honest, this is really where your brother loves to dwell, and dealing with your connection with the Most High. the Almighty, God, the Lord, you know. Some even attribute some personal names, you know, Yahweh and Brahman, something down the line. But there is an intelligent consciousness. There's a nucleus of intelligence, I like to call it. There is a nucleus, a center point, whether it's a center point that you could physically see, just like the galaxy itself that we are in has a center point, it has a nucleus. And at the center of the galaxy is a super massive black hole. The solar system that we are in, at the center of the solar system is the sun. The planets revolve around the sun in the same way as the solar system, the system of the solar, the sol, goes around the center of the galaxy as well. And it is said that there's another central point that these galaxies are going around, and then there's another central point. You'll be shocked to know what's going around that. But the point is, again, here comes in your multiverses. But there's an understanding that there's always a center to the rotation. There's always a center. Again, just backstepping. As I always highlight, the beautiful rings of Saturn. You don't even have to go there. Look at our moon. The moon goes around the earth. Again, the earth goes around the sun. Again, the sun with all of its arms being the planets that go around it and the moons that go around them. Because the moons that go around the planets and the rings that go around the planet follows the planet as it goes around the sun. And any astronomer would tell you the sun is moving through quote unquote space, but it's moving through the galaxy that it is in. It's going around the black hole. And within the galaxy that we are in, there are many other solar systems with planets going around them and moons going around them, while those solar systems are going around the center of the galaxy. And again, this galaxy, like many other galaxies, are still going around a central point within the universe. And we can go on and on and on and on. And it gets more cosmic by the moment. So there is a dynamic nucleus of intelligence, which may not be a spot that you can touch, because this nucleus of intelligence exists in all things that are intelligent, all living things. And there's some things that people do not consider to be living, and you'll be surprised. The fabrics that you wear that is alive. Hold on. Okay, hold on. You must have spilled your drink there a while ago. I guess people watching their clothes now. Listen. Rocks, eh? In the school system, the children are taught that, not kids now, the children are taught that the rocks are not alive. They're not living beings, or they're not living objects, whatever. We deal with rocks, the living rocks, rocks that grow out of the earth and align with the heavens, rocks that are happy to see you when you come around. Rocks grow. What are you telling me? The rocks, like the grass, alive, they speak to each other. Sounds weird to some because you're far out of that culture, but that's a reality. So the rocks are living. And with any, good understanding, you would see that is the truth. Because how could the earth be alive? You're telling me the earth is alive, eh? And the earth is living. So the rock is a part of the earth. The rocks grow out of the earth. What about the sun? So the sun is dead too? Yeah. Tell me the dirt is not alive when the dirt is the essence of the earth. So there's intelligence in some places. That is why I'm saying, what do you think your clothes is made from? It's from fabric. You get fabric from different things, plants, caterpillars, not worms now, not no silkworm. It's not a worm, it's a caterpillar. These killers, they really gave us the 3 R's, brother. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. And only 2 of these words begin with, only one of these words, pardon me, begin with an R. And that's reading. Writing and arithmetic is a W and an A. W-A-R, it's war. It is war. So now the caterpillar that did all the work to produce such a highly prized fabric, all the credit goes to the worm. Same thing, they keep doing that, eh? The worm gets all the credit. Who invented electricity? Oh, that's a worm. Caterpillar did the job. Who built Washington, D.C.? All the worms, you should have seen them when they came with their hammers and nails. And is a butterfly that did that. So the silk worm that produces the silk is not a worm. It's a caterpillar. So I'm saying all of that to say, you got to, when you understand animals, that cocoon that they spin and all of that, I mean, there's life. You know, there's life in a man within. And that is why sometimes when you like, for example, the cocoon, the animal is in this incubator as such for a good while. But when it takes it off, the cocoon drops to the ground and withers away. So the cocoon is disconnected as such at that time, maybe from life, but it returns to the earth and continues life. It's a very mystic thing. But to the worm again, the silk worm, just to understand that the silk that it releases, there got to be some level of life. That's why the material is highly prized. It's life. Gold has life. And they have gold material in the sense of clothing, fabric made from gold. There's life in the clothes. So intelligence and life is a deep, deep thing. Your house is alive. What did you hear? We just spoke about stones being alive, eh? And a lot of these figurines that people have carved out of wood. Oh yeah, man. There's some essence of life there. So it gets deep. I mean, yeah, I know you're the top scientist. You could tell me when the wood has lost its life, the exact moment. And yeah, I know. There's life around us in many ways. So you don't think the wind has a level of intelligence to it? The wind, the same wind. I don't mean and the hard wind, just the breeze, the wind. There's air around you. I should not say the wind, not the wind, the air. Don't you think the air has intelligence? Not up in the air, but the air around you. It has intelligence. It has its own level of intelligence. Every cell in your body has its own mind. All of them. The cell on your hair, take a strand of hair, all of them millions of cells there, doing their own thing. And they don't seem to always agree with one another. But somehow they come together and form you. Maybe that's why sometimes you can't even agree with yourself. So what I want to do this evening here, I want to present a short clip for you, directly dealing with that subject area as far as us being one with God. Just to put it in the plainest language, us being one with God, connecting with the universe.
Consciousness. It is something that we all have, yet remains the most mysterious human trait. This is a quality that every human being possesses. We can be aware of our own consciousness during waking times, when we are deep in contemplation, or even pondering the vastness of the universe. To better understand what consciousness is, many attempts have been made to define exactly what it is. Perhaps it is that state of wakefulness when you are aware of your surroundings. Some say that it is the ability to be aware of something going on within oneself. Others say that it is a sense of self-awareness. All of these are considered to be valid descriptions of consciousness. Since time immemorial, philosophers have debated the exact nature of consciousness and what it means to be a sentient or even sapient being. Advances in neuroscience have given us an intricate understanding of exactly how the brain works. We know the regions of the brain where memories are stored, where information from our eyes and ears are formed. We have even been able to transmit thoughts from one person to another via advanced neurotechnology. However, the source or cause of consciousness continues to elude even the most diligent of seekers. But there are some who may have found the answer.
Because everybody's totally fixed on matter is the ultimate reality, they're trying to explain how consciousness could possibly come out of matter, and they're getting nowhere. They've got theories in quantum physics that try, theories in information sciences, chemical theories, nothing works. But nobody dares question the assumption, and the assumption is that matter is unconscious. And that's the problem. If matter is unconscious, the problem is how on earth does consciousness, awareness, ever arise out of something that has no awareness?
Matter and energy are emanations of some deeper intrinsic order. All these seemingly separate selves, seemingly separate identities, going about their own lives, living what appears to be a separate existence. And yet we are all fundamentally sharing the same unified consciousness that the universe is made of. We've now seen scientific proof that the universe emanates from a geometric seed that doesn't have any space or time. Since we are conscious, consciousness must be in that seed. All of the universe is emanating from this. So there is scientific grounding to support the law of one philosophical stance, which is that in fact there is a one infinite creator and the universe itself is a living conscious being. Space, time, energy, matter, and biology are created by a universal consciousness.
Our idea about subatomic particles are, as physics class has shown us, little billiard balls. You know, that's what we think of. But actually, a subatomic particle is not that. It's a vibrating packet of energy, trading information and energy with other subatomic particles and this background energy field. So a subatomic particle is essentially a shapeshifter. So when you look down at matter at that tiny level, what you find is there's no such thing as a thing. The unit of the universe isn't a thing, it's a relationship. It's the relationship between those subatomic particles.
Scientists have been able to detect and record this energy field.
And basically, before he goes there into the energy field, she basically highlighted or even somewhat summarized what we were saying. Please pardon me. When you understand that level of consciousness, and I'm basically interpreting what she's saying, when you understand that level of consciousness, there's nothing really known as a thing. And that's what she said, that aspect there. There's nothing, there's no thing. That's deep. That's what I'm telling you, down to the cloth. A grain of sand, you'll call it a thing because to you it's dead, you know. So that is why, you know, okay, there's no it then in that sense, no thing, no it, because everything has this level of consciousness. And that consciousness, where there's that consciousness, there must be life. a level of life. I mean, you may not understand it. You may start to spook out and, start to look at your socks and, you watch whatever it is. But it's a different level of vibration, but it exists. It exists. Obviously, you are working on a much higher level of intelligence than the sun. Or are you?
So a subatomic particle is essentially a shapeshifter. So when you look down at matter at that tiny level, what you find is there's no such thing as a thing. The unit of the universe isn't a thing, it's a relationship. It's the relationship between those subatomic particles.
Scientists have been able to detect and record this energy field, but what we see as a background energy field may well be a unified field of intelligent energy. This energy is more than just intelligent. It is omnipresent throughout all of time and space and permeates everything in existence.
We've looked at the idea that the gravitational field is in fact a fluid-like essence of the universe that all matter arises from. It's the source of matter, energy, consciousness, spirituality. All of the things that we see in the universe, both physical and non-physical, arise from this source field.
When you start factoring in the whole idea of a quantum energy field, then that is a wonderful, neat metaphor to understand things connections that occur between people or between people and other living things like plants across time and across space.
It is a self-organizing universe and it is a self-correcting universe. The embryo knows how to turn into a baby. The acorn knows how to turn into an oak tree. Within nature, it is obvious that there is a natural intelligence at work.
Marcus Aurelius, in his writing The Meditations, contemplated, "For there is one universe made up of all things, and one God who pervades all things, and one substance, and one law, and one reason." In a lesser-known work of Charles Darwin, The Formation of Vegetable Mold Through the Action of Worms, he documented how far earthworms acted consciously and how much mental power they displayed. He concluded that there was no absolute threshold between lower and higher animals. Even Albert Einstein offered support to this idea of a unified consciousness with all living things. In his 1949 work, The World as I See It, he calls for us to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature.
Whatever that original source of consciousness that has brought everything into creation, visible and invisible, we're just aspects of that. It actually highlights how much bigger and greater the Creator is.
If I realize that I am a child of God, that I'm just an idea in the mind of God, then and only then do I get to realize that you are the same thing. And on that realm, there is no separation between us. On that realm, there is no competition between us.
We're talking about a universal consciousness where I'm going to talk to the Spirit of God within every living being. Now, whether we call that the zero-point energy field, we call that universal intelligence, we call it God. The zero-point energy field is the new name for God. So it's an ocean of holographic records that houses within it the history of every living being and makes the connection possible through means of a quantum process. And that quantum process is unconditional love.
Unconditional love is the key to understanding the nature of our connection. While this intelligent and creative field permeates everything in our universe, its loving and creative nature is what draws us all together and binds us to the universe and each other.
If my energy is not coming from love, compassion, and forgiveness by whatever name I give it, then I am making a world that will not be happy for myself and others, by the way.
Now, you've got religious fears, you've got skepticism, you've got all sorts of walls that are there to stop humanity to increase its own cosmic consciousness. And they're all distancing themselves from the Spirit and from the face and the tools of God. And that's wrong. You cannot let go of the Creator.
We have a metaphor of ourselves, or an image of ourselves, as the hero up against it all. The whole idea is about being right, being first, being individual. That's been our programming. If we have a hard drive, it's been programmed with I win, you lose. This is absolutely against nature, and that's why we're in the mess we're in. This is what selfish looks like. You know, it's hard to understand how much that definition of ourselves really informs how we operate, because not all cultures do. They think of themselves as being all connected, and from that, they create a very different kind of society.
You are born with divine consciousness. The whole point of being on the earth is to realize that and live your life in the pursuit of justice and compassion from the profoundest peace and the wildest love. The state of joyful, interpenetrating, interrelated love with all things is already here. It's on the earth. It's not in some otherwhere. It's here. And the whole point of waking up to your divine consciousness is that you wake up to this radiance of divine presence in the universe, in other beings, and in yourself.
There's another way of being, another mode of consciousness, that we can free ourselves up from this attachment, this materiality. And when we do that, we begin to become more in tune with our world, with our environment, with other people. We become more compassionate. So I think the next stage is, having realized that's the basic problem, is then say, okay, what do we know? Just looking at the world's spiritual traditions and other metaphysical traditions, what do we know that can really help free up human consciousness?
Forging a connection with this universal consciousness is something that is available to everyone. However, we live in a turbulent world full of stressful lifestyles and traumatic conflicts that continuously tear us away from this source of life and unconditional love. We have literally been programmed to remain separate in order to better serve the needs of those in control. To remember where we came from, we must learn to see beyond these manufactured illusions, to open our hearts and minds to the unified force binding all of creation.
There is a reluctance, and in some cases an outright resistance, for the mainstream media, mainstream academia, classrooms, textbooks, to share the new discoveries. This would be important at any time, but it's especially critical right now because we are at this moment of crisis.
We have made an incredible technological advancement. We will go on the moon. We have GPS. We have the internet. We're up here on the physical realm of consciousness. But in the spirit, we are still 2,000 years ago in deceptive, dogmatic religious teaching. The gap needs to be adjusted. And that can be accomplished with cosmic consciousness, where not only you, but the greed, the people that are in power, the people that are in charge of your life, once they become cosmic conscious. Now we are talking about a very, very big difference.
And you know what's nice, you know, is the doing it in the right way is nice, but what is not nice, maybe that's what I should say, what is not nice is that they have some of us, we would consider that, well, we know something or we have a certain level of knowledge, and we do not want to share the knowledge with others. Now, this is higher than knowledge, as this brother was just saying, that whole level of consciousness and awareness. Not because somebody teaches you means they're sharing with you. Some people will be giving you all the knowledge in the world, knowledge that they use to create a certain level of consciousness. They spit it out, but they're not sharing the consciousness. And in some form or fashion, they may be just entertaining you or even showing you what they think they can do. Yeah, you got to understand the mentality of some. But what I'm saying here to you is that if you have that blissful consciousness within you, meaning that you are at peace with yourself, and you find that calm within your own breast to the point that there's a clairvoyance that comes over you. You have good access to what is coming before it happens. You have a good connection with the unseen. You can tap into your other selves in different dimensions. Imagine, you could speak to ancestors. So you could do all of this. And I'm sure someone listening to me has not, you all have the ability, but most people do not exercise the ability, but some do. So you can do all of this and other things. And for those of you who can, don't you think it would be a much better vibration if those that you come in contact with, especially of your own tribe, and when I say tribe, I mean those who you associate with, I'm not speaking ethnically specifically, wouldn't it be nice if those that surround you could tap into that exact vibration, or at least similar? So if you can do it and they can't do it, you shouldn't just say, oh, when I'm around them, they can't see what I see. My vibration seems to be above theirs, We're good friends. I love him. I love her. But they're just not coming up to my standard. It would be a joy if you can tap in to that universal consciousness and can share the experience with good conversation too, with your friends, with your children, with your workmates, with your heartmate, because they too can tap in to their consciousness. You see that? There you go. And I would even share this with you. Answer that phone for me, my Lord, and tell him that I'm yes, give thanks. Yes, just show him. No, tell him that I'm on the air and I am bringing forward the shock of the hour and I'm recording it at the same time. He will call back. Okay, he will call back. No worry. Yes, where was I? Yes, so interestingly, that individual that just called there is my business associate. And even in the explanation of what I was explaining to you, it was, well, a few people came in my mind, but he was one of them. As I said, your associate or your friends, people that are in your tribe. And usually when we come on the air, we do lock off our phones. For some reason that was on. And to be honest too, while we were going through the program, it dawned on me. I said, did I put the phone in silence? I actually said that. And that was several minutes back in the program. So it was left on for a reason. And as it rang and I looked, I saw his name. Just to show you again the point that I was making. It is only good and grand when you can connect in the same way with those that are around you, your family. And that's what family means. Those who you are familiar with. You have familiar interests. You the same spirit as such. Your family. So never be selfish with your gifts, especially if they're gifts that allow you to tap into. Yes, they're gifts, but people can be nurtured. I know that for a fact. Let me be straight here. I have gifts. I have a spiritual connection. I'm telling you, I'm not ashamed to say it. I mean, everyone is not the same. as I've said from time to time, some people read dreams and can do all kind of things, and many people do different things. But I know what I know who I am and my ability, and those that are around me that I love, I share that insight with them. So as we grow and we mature, they themselves even become masters of it. Hence even the phone call. So everything is well aligned, and the meditation is extremely high. Yes. So basically, what that is saying to us as well is that the science of God now, in conclusion, the science of God, and let's just use the term, we know what we're saying, let's not get confused and say, oh, well, God is this and that. We know that. How many classes we've done on that, man? We know that. Now, the science of God, as I was saying, is that God dwells in everything, as everything also dwells in God. You know, we as the so-called intelligent beings, some of us somehow decide not to dwell in God, and what makes it, I would say, worse is that God is dwelling in us. It's dread when you see God dwell in you, which she does, as we're dealing with balance and polarity. Well, listen, God may be a man, but the intelligent nucleus that I was speaking of could never be just masculine. Impossible, because the intelligent nucleus that I was talking about has a lot to do, is science, basically. You're talking about galaxy and planets and moon going around planet and planet going around sun and sun going around black hole. And I only use that to show you that in the infinite or the endless, the boundless, vibration of space, you will always find a central energy that governs all that goes around it. And if you can go deeper, you will find that there are others like that is going around another central energy. It just continues and continues and continues and continues. It's like the atom. You split it and you find something else, and you split it and that have something else. Oh, well, there's nothing could be smaller than this. Split that again, and there's something else. Everything is made up of something else. So there's, it's just like infinite. But as far as your imagination can carry you, there's a central intelligence. There's a central nucleus that controls all that is. And that is not religion, that's just common sense, to be honest. Not even reality, just common sense. If that wasn't so, it doesn't make sense that there's not an intelligent nucleus that exists. I mean, come on, like, wow, you got to convince somebody of this? And God doesn't govern that. That is the God that we talk about. And if God is a he, full stop. Well, no, sorry. Well, I made a mistake. That ain't who I talking about. Because this intelligent nucleus has to be positive and negative. It will not work. So there must be the masculine principle, as with everything, and the feminine principle, as with everything. Yeah. So again, that is why the God vibration and God dwells in you. And God comes as flesh. And don't try to, pump up yourself. Oh, well, we're all the same, because no. This thing is well prophesied and well mapped out in the cosmos. The reality is there are those that will come amongst you that are much more highly charged than the rest of the people. But interestingly, with the good ones, they come to teach you how to become highly charged, just like them. Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So give thanks, you know. I'm surely looking forward to your presence with us on the 4th of October, that at 7 p.m. sharp, for the grand lecture, Rastafari and the Cosmos.
Well, as I said, that was a previous program there, and that's when we were highlighting Rastafari and the Cosmos. That's a previous program of the Shock of the Hour. And the Shock of the Hour is our nightly radio program that comes to you. You definitely get it in your inbox via your email. And definitely that is sent out to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we're encouraging you to become a part of the Shock of the Hour. And don't forget the International Homeschool Cosmic classes. Definitely you can contact me via the email, priestisaac27@gmail.com, and I will send you right away a copy of this brochure giving you more information. Well, the brochure is right there on the screen, really, you know, but if you just need it for yourself so you can look at it when you think you have the time, you just contact me. I send you the brochure giving you all the information and how you can get your young one, your child, your son, your daughter, to become a part of our astronomy classes, to become a part of our African heritage classes for sure. More than 160 classes over a period of 10 months. Classes are in video form and appear in your inbox daily. And children love their daily lessons. Specifically, you will know for sure as you would see the results. Just contact us, priestisaac27@gmail.com, and I will send you a copy of the flyer and a special video as well, directly dealing with the International Homeschool. As I said one more time, that was just an excerpt of the program that we did as it relates to the God in You. I'm sure you found it the information is not just to give you advice, but it's to inform you. Information put you in formation. The information is supposed to put us in formation. Form us, you know, put us, you know, like a military again. Hey, line up, information. You know, so at the same time, that is why when we take in knowledge, we got to do something with the knowledge. We can't just be packing our brains with all of this knowledge and it doesn't show at all in anything that is going on around us. So the information is supposed to put us in formation, and knowing that you are one with God and one with the all creation and the birds that sing and the roosters that crow and the sun. The sun, you're one with life in general. Yeah, that should help you to get information. Okay, well, it was this was just a snippet of that Shock of the Hour program, but you didn't get it at the end, so I'm going to end it the way that he would end it. He would say, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And of course, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lies that are amongst us. And of course, you know, it's not really an end. We're just seeing in this one for now. Holy Emmanuel eyes. That's, yeah, Rastafari. Yeah, give thanks for the Shock of the Hour, man. That was a nice one.